First coming to attention in 1980's The Blue Lagoon, Brooke Shields was a model and an actress who stunned us all with her immaculate beauty. Joe Cocker nailed his performance at the music festival when he performed with a little help from my friends. When asked if he had taken the brown acid, he had a very surprising reply. "I was furious because all the band had taken acid and they didn't tell me," Cocker recalls. "I was the only one straight. I have been offered brown acid in my time, though. Even black acid, I took that. That was very weird. It was a very dark trip." The last photo of the Titanic before sinking 1912. Elvis was already a name that most people knew by this time. He enlisted in the U.S. Army from March 1958 to March 1960, and concerned fans from all over the world would write letters to him addressing the concerns about the Army shaving his signature sideburns. Princeton students right after a freshman and sophomore snowball fight 1893. A group of young men and women surround a Ford Mustang convertible, circa mid-1960s. These stylish Cambridge men walking across their campus were a part of the Brotherhood of Scholars who attended one of the most well-read schools in the world. At the time there was a secret society on campus called the Alpine Society, who only allowed members to join in if they could climb over the gates of the college while it was locked up at night. Can you imagine trying to climb a gate at any time of the day wearing these kinds of pants? Boeing 707 doing a barrel roll. When asked about his stunt, the test pilot said, "Just trying to sell airplanes." Photographer William C. Beale captured a moment between a 2-year-old boy and a police officer in Washington, D.C., that similarly captured the hearts of readers of the Washington Daily News when the photo was published in 1957. Beale was at a parade in Chinatown when a young Alan Weaver got too close to the dragons dancing down the street. Police officer Maurice Cullinane instructed Weaver to back up for his own safety, engaging him in a polite conversation immortalized on film. Boxing held in Yankee Stadium, 1923. In Return of the Jedi, Carrie Fisher played an intergalactic prisoner who was forced to wear this gold bikini. Nobody complained. This photograph of a scowling Winston Churchill was taken by photographer Youssef Karsh in the Parliament buildings in Ottawa, Canada. Karsh had annoyed Churchill by taking his cigar away and composed what has been regarded as one of the most iconic portraits of all time. A pyramid of helmets from captured German soldiers displayed in New York, 1918. In this tragic picture, the 4 children are seen on display on their front stoop as their mother hides her face from the photojournalist. The woman, Lucille Chalafou, was only 24 years old, but pregnant with her 5th child at the time. Faced with the prospect of being homeless and the daunting task of feeding so many mouths, Lucille and her husband chose to auction off their own children. A U.S. soldier offering a hand to a woman leaving a cave during World War II. Star of The Cosby Show and Angel Heart, Lisa Bonet's spunky and beautiful style inspired many girls in the 80s. Geologist Thomas Griffith Taylor and meteorologist Charles Wright photographed on the January 5, 1911 at the entrance of a grotto in the side of an iceberg with the Terra Nova ship in the background. This was a part of the British Antarctic expedition led by Captain Robert Falcon Scott, which lasted from 1910 to 1913. A newly liberated French citizen lights Winston Churchill's cigar with enthusiasm, 1944. Gandhi's secretaries informed photographer Margaret Bourke-White that she would be allowed to take a photograph only if she learned to use the spinning wheel. They also told her that she would not be able to talk to him as it was his day of silence. And she was not allowed to use bright lights as Gandhi didn't like it. A couple enjoys some privacy as they embrace in a hole in the sand on a beach in Santa Monica. July 4, 1950. This iconic photograph is from the 1968 Olympics. What Tommy Smith and John Carlos did was a black power salute on the podium. The idea of this salute was Peter Norman's, who did not perform the salute himself. Norman, an Australian, was later blacklisted from appearing at any future Olympics because he supported black rights. He was ostracized and went into severe depression and took to substance abuse. Ernest Hemingway having a hearty drink at a Havana bar. Date unknown. The Afghan Girl is one of the most popular and recreated images in the world, shot by National Geographic photographer Steve McCurry. The Afghan Girl is Sharbat Gula, a student at an informal school within a refugee camp. It was the time of the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan. She has also been often referred to as the Afghan Mona Lisa. A Native American looking over the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad in Nevada, 1868. This much circulated photograph shows an extremely tired doctor after a 23-hour-long heart transplant. His assistant can be seen sleeping at the corner of the room. The patient not only survived the operation, he outlived the doctor too. The first passengers on the newly opened New York subway, 1904. The oldest running car on the planet, the 1884 de Dion, Bautaniti Tripartidos. Barack Obama was elected the President of the United States of America in 2008. The 44th president was also the first African American to be elected. He was re-elected for a second term in 2012. Actress Elaine Stewart poses as she washes her hair at the beach in Los Angeles. 1957. This photograph was clicked moments before John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Governor John Connally were shot in Dallas, 1963. Jacqueline crawled out of the vehicle after her husband was shot. Sander gathered Bricklayer and his other portraits in the monumental people of the 20th century, the first body of work to document a culture through photography. Sander's photographs celebrate the importance of the individual, elevating portraiture of ordinary people to art. Model Joy Niven poses at the beach in Los Angeles. September 3, 1954. In the photo, face-to-face stand two men, Guy Bermier, a worker, and Jeannie von Antignac, a riot policeman. As it turned out, the two had been childhood friends and recognized each other. The photographer later recalled, "I saw him, Guy Bermier, go toward his friend and grab him by the collar. He wept with rage and told him, 'Go ahead and hit me while you're at it.' The other one didn't move a muscle." This blonde bombshell didn't even have to say a word to get our attention in her hit 1984 movie, Splash. Helen of Troy, the mythic Greek demigod who sparked the Trojan War and launched 1,000 ships, had nothing on Betty Grable of St. Louis. For that platinum blonde, blue-eyed Hollywood starlet had a set of gams that inspired American soldiers, sailors, airmen and Marines to set forth to save civilization from the Axis powers. The evacuation of Saigon 1975, in which some 45 UH-1 Hueys and 1 CH-47 Chinook were pushed overboard to make room for others to land.